Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 13, A Date with Destiny. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time or a 13th time, then y'all welcome back. Y'all please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So when the episode first opens up, we see Destiny and she's getting ready for hype hair and the whole photo shoot of it all, right? Y'all know what? This took me back because I used to always check out hype hair for inspiration, but my mama would always say no. She would always be like, those styles too grown for you. And I just used to look at those styles like, man, I wish I could have it. I would look so good with that. Honey, she was not having it. Do y'all hear me? She was like, no ma'am, you will not be doing that with no crimps on the side and curled underneath and flipped to one side. You will not be doing that. And you will get a ponytail with a few little Shirley Temple curls. Take it or leave it. Moving forward. I didn't even know it still existed. So, I mean, the fact that it still exists and she's going to be on the cover, honey, that is everything. And then I noticed that Leah from Married to Medicine LA is actually the person who owns Hype Hair. And I forgot that she was actually in the beauty industry because y'all know it was a whole scandal with her divorce and everything. Child, is just a side note, honey. We got to get into it as we get into it over here. Anywho, her dad showed up with flowers and we're finally getting a peek inside of Destiny's world, like somebody attached to Destiny. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's talking to her and he's telling her that she's really making him proud. And he started to cry. And she said he was really always so hard on her, but he's finally seeing what he poured into her. It came to pass. And her dad got emotional. And I loved seeing this side of her. I was like, okay, more of the dad. What's the dad's story? Like, where did he come from? And so what else is going on? Child, I really wanted to know. So Tisha stops by the event and Destiny introduced her to her dad. And then she was like, yeah, I'm hooking up with Miss Wanda. Child, Miss Wanda already got two men's. Okay, two men's, a husband and a boyfriend. Do not be getting your daddy mixed up with Hurricane Wanda, child. Let your daddy rest, honey. He too old to be dealing with Wanda and her pink curls. Moving forward. So they sit down to chat and Destiny asks how she felt about Vegas. So she's talking to Tisha about Vegas and whatnot. And Tisha said she wanted the trip to bring friends closer together. But Tiffany, you know, she just feels like she's always saying she wants everybody to be transparent, but she's not transparent with everybody else. Honey, didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I say last week? I was like, where is your tea? Like, why are you always exposing somebody else but not giving any of your business? That's what I wanted to know. I mean, it's one thing when you pick up some tea and you might, you know, tell a close friend and whatnot, but she always makes it a point to get in front of a group of people and then out someone. That's the thing that I don't like about it. Okay, you got some tea, girl, go and spill it, honey. Let's get into it if we're gonna get into it. But the fact that you sit amongst a whole group of people and then decide to embarrass and shame somebody, honey, that's totally different. Destiny said, we don't know nothing about her relationship except you forced a man to marry you. Honey, not forced. Oh. Honey, Ann did. Child, show forced him right on out there on that diamond, honey. So Tisha said, it was a surprise. You don't remember it was a surprise. Destiny said, even when you tell her, she doesn't stop. She just keeps on doing it. She said, I keep having the same conversation with Mel because she's always taking up for Tiffany. Tisha said, I don't know why. Tiffany's very transparent. Honey, I don't know why she keeps using the word transparent. I don't think she understands what transparency means. Transparency means when you speak to me, there's nothing that I don't know about you because you're an open book. You're going to spill your own tea before I spill it. Tisha suggested maybe they go shop. Well, honey, she needs a little wardrobe help, so that might not be a bad idea. Honey, guidance is definitely needed. So then Destiny was like, yeah, you know, there are parts of her that I do like. Girl, which parts are those? Oh, child, I must have been absent that day. You know how you be absent from school one day, honey, miss a whole entire semester. Child, I must have been absent because I do not remember anything likable about Tiffany. But honey, that's just me. Moving forward. She said, you know, they may be able to form some type of bond if she wasn't under Mel's wing. Mel wants to keep her there, so she looks like the savior. Honey, I don't trust it. Mel just as fake as she want to be, honey. Her and Martel are two sides of the same coin. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation. So then Destiny asked about how she felt about the whole chapel debacle. And Tisha said, you know, I was just over it. Everybody was tripping. Mel and Martel doing what the Holts do. I mean, it was just too much. So then they started talking about how the restaurant was really nice and how they were having great conversations. And then Tisha was like, yeah, you know, and then Marceau, He just up and said he was depressed, and I didn't even know that. She said, but I think it's because of his workload. It's just because he works a lot, but you can't tell him nothing. So then Destiny said, well, he'll get it when it's time to get it. And I think she was trying to hint at Tisha like, girl, once you pack up your things and hit the road, Jack, honey, I bet he get it then. When you get ready to move around, I bet he understands that he needs a little help. Honey, sometimes you got to give him the nudge that needs to be given. So Tisha said before he said it, she did notice a disconnect, but she didn't know what it was. She thought it was him working on all those projects being busy. Sweetheart, that was not the disconnect. Marceau is allegedly hiding something else. Him throwing all that out there and then just dismissing it like he never said it, that told me everything I needed to know. But I do appreciate Tisha being a very supportive friend, coming to check on Destiny, making sure that everything is doing what needs to be done. I like seeing Tisha like this, happy, out with her girls, enjoying herself. Because, honey, as we proceed through this review, honey, y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. Moving forward. In the next scene, Marceau is over at the office wearing that white shirt he loves. I'm like, boy, you always got this white shirt on. He gonna have that white shirt on, and Maurice gonna have that blue suit on. Child and brothers gonna wear them clothes if they don't do nothing else. So he's sitting there. Martel stops by. Now, just keep in mind that Marceau is in his place of business looking over blueprints, minding his own business, okay? In Pop's Hotel Holt, okay? I just want y'all to keep that in mind, because when I tell y'all what Chris says a little bit later, this will make sense. So anywho, Martel stops by and tells him that, he talked to Chris about the 47 acres. Honey, at this point, I don't care about the 47 acres. Can we just please get over it? We have been talking about this since season 1. And I remember season 1 came out in 2018. Honey, this is almost 2022. What are we going to do? Get the 47 acres built on and let's move on. Honey, this is a fool. So he was like, yeah, he's telling him that they could possibly do everything together. So Marceau said, okay, so, when do you think they're going to plan to start? He said, well, they're removing trees next month. What's so ironic about this is Martel had no problem outing Marceau's alleged infidelity. Okay. And then everything fell apart. They were at odds. But now that Martel needs him, all of a sudden they cool. Baby, you better be careful of the bridges that you burn. Okay. So in the confessional, Martel is telling us that the builder had asked Mel to build on the 47 acres because he didn't have the license. And it really did get under his skin. So he decided to partner with someone with a license. So he thought of Marceau. Child, at this point, you might as well put an ad in Craigslist. Child, every time I turn around on every single episode, you done partner with another person with a builder's license. Last time it was that random man, I can't remember his name. You went over there when he was at the house and you were talking to him about going into business together because he had the builder's license. And he was looking at you like, you ain't got the license? And he was like, no, Melody, she had the license. While you're doing that, you could be studying, already passed your exam, and have your license. Child, this don't make no sense. Oh my goodness, honey. He about to put a whole Facebook ad out. So if y'all see Martel all up and through Facebook, honey, holla at him. Because, child, he needs somebody with a license. At this point, he'll take a driver's license, okay? Martel, take the test. Get your own license, okay? The fact that you'll find anyone to partner with instead of getting the license or letting Mel have the deal, she's raising your children. You know what? This is just ridiculous. I think you're so uncool. I think you're acting a fool. Shout out to Mel. Honey, y'all know I had to do it. This don't make no sense, Martel. Just get the license. Y'all, we need to start a whole hashtag. Martel, get your license. Hashtag, get your license. Like, this is ridiculous. Moving forward. Marceau said, so what are your next steps? He said, well, Chris will get here and we'll ask about the size of the lots. Here go Marceau. Oh, so you invited company. Listen, y'all, I do not know why that tickled me so. But the fact that Marceau just said, oh, you invited company, it made me think like, how you going to invite somebody to my place of business? I don't know. It was just so funny to me, child. Whew. Marceau and the missing teeth, honey, that is hilarious. So Martel tells Marceau about Chris asking Mel to be the builder, and it was a slap in his face. So Marceau was like, yeah, so have you resolved that with Mel? Have you asked Mel about it? Marceau said, how did you talk to her? He said it wasn't all arrogant, was it? Here go Martel. Oh, no, I don't think so. But, sometimes I don't know when I'm tripping. Well, honey, at least you know. Child, I hollered at that. At least he coming to terms with the fact that he does not understand when he is acting a fool. And Martel, no. You start off good. You be talking normal, honey. And the minute she says something you don't like, you act like a crazy person, honey. You act like the size of your clothes, small. And then you start losing your rabbit mind. So Marcel said, well, would you be willing to work with Mel? Honey, Marcel gonna look out for Mel if he don't do nothing else. Now, why in the world would you suggest these two work together? Do you want to complete the project or not? Like, I'm just trying to understand how that makes sense to you, honey. I wouldn't let these two build a Lego structure for me. Do you hear me? These two do not need to be working together. Moving forward. He said, yeah, I'd be open to it. Anything to be near a child. Y'all know, anything to be near Melody. So he said, at the end of the day, we're still family, and I feel like it'll be amazing. Yeah, you feel like it would be amazing because Mel has that license. Boy, you do not want to work with Mel. You just don't want to be cut out of this deal. I understand the two of you bought the land together. But at the same time, you only want to work with Mel because she has something that you need. Boy, you are such a master manipulator. Well, not even master, honey. You just try to manipulate people all up and through, and it really falls flat each and every time. But you ain't fooling me. So anywho, Marcel said, well, that sounds good and everything, but when we were in Vegas, honey, y'all showed out and did. So here comes Chris messy behind, because Chris is so messy to me. Honey, I don't care what nobody else says. Chris is a mess box. So Marcel was asking about how he felt about Mel and Martel working with everybody, right? So Chris said, at the end of the day, there's been no guarantee of who's going to build there, but this is business. But his opinion is that they're both adults and it's business. Chris, that would ring true if we were talking about normal people, but this is Mel and Martel. They're going to find a way to fuss. They're going to find a way to fight. They're going to find a way to holler. They're going to find a way to be the Holtz, honey. The Incredible Holtz. They're going to find a way to do it. Child, this is a fool. Moving forward. Marcel said, I know we all want to do this, but, I just want to make sure that we can all work together. He goes, the only person I couldn't work with is my mother-in-law, but she's not licensed. Well, honey, neither is Martel. Moving forward. Destiny goes to meet Tiffany for drinks. Destiny. This blue confessional look, makeup, hair. Yes, ma'am, honey. Yes, ma'am. And also, this dress that you're wearing for drinks with Tiffany, I'm going to need that. Okay, that's just a side note. Let's continue. So anywho, Tiffany shows up dressed like a school marm. I'm like, girl, what is happening? Oh, child, oh, how dreadful. Honey, maybe she was just getting off at the Chambers of Commerce. I'm not sure what was happening, but the outfit just screamed, honey, I put on something and I matched my shoes with it, okay? So Destiny said, thank you for coming. Here go Tiffany. Already ready to throw the shade, okay? Keep that in mind. She's talking about, well, I didn't know if I was coming, I was considering not. See, this is the reason people go in on you. This right here. Just say you're welcome. I'm happy that you invited me. Like, stop acting like you had things to do, okay? And people to see. Because didn't you just sit up with Mel and say you wanted to talk to work things out? See, this is the problem with you, and this is the problem I have with Tiffany. Tiffany is two-faced. She'll say one thing to you, and then she'll get with Barry White, and she gonna say something else. And then she gonna get on the confessional, and she gonna say something else. That is the problem I'm having with her. I want to say, after hearing her story and whatnot, child, we'll get there, that, okay, maybe it's because she needs to heal. No, girl, you messy boots, honey, you messy boots. And that's just who you are, because you behave in totally different ways every time I turn around. Honey, it's just a mess. So Destiny said, well, what were you thinking about? So then Tiffany said, well, it starts off good, but then in Vegas, you kind of gave me the cold shoulder. Lady, there was a reason for that. You started this. It's the non-accountability for me. Like, girl, this was all because of you. You started this. So Destiny said, you got a smart mouth, but so do I. And it's because of that, I wanted to invite you here. Tiffany was like, I don't have a smart mouth. She said, well, you can be shady. So Destiny is still trying to get her to understand her shadiness. So she's like, yeah, when we were in Vegas, you were saying all this smart stuff about me being from Detroit, Atlanta, and all this. And I was walking away, but you were still saying smart stuff. You were still poking the bear. So Tiffany is like, well, you know what? Let me challenge you to think about things in a different way. You were once the new girl. Think about how people perceived you. Put yourself in my shoes. Destiny said, okay, I will put myself directly in your pink pumps. Child, not these pink pumps. And honey, the way the cameraman zoomed down to them Payless pink pumps, honey, and the fact that the music changed, I said, oh, Carlos King must be stopped, honey. Oh, he like a mad scientist. Oh, child, I cannot. She said, well, I didn't talk about people's husbands, children's, and marriages, so I can't put myself in your shoes that way. Honey, I wouldn't put myself in them Payless pumps no way, honey, because first of all, the shady producer zoomed down to them. And secondly, those remind me of those pumps in the 80s. Y'all remember when you had to get those pumps tie-dyed or dyed to match your bridesmaid's dress? Y'all remember that? Like if you had a pink bridesmaid's dress, you would get them white pumps, and then they would dip them in that pink dye, and then therefore and thus and such, you're matching. Honey, it's a fool. Moving forward. Tiffany said, oh, so you were perfect. Okay. So then they flash back to Destiny's introduction and whatnot. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Destiny definitely rubbed me the wrong way at first, but it wasn't anything like Tiffany. Honey, I think she intentionally tries to hurt and embarrass people. That's the difference. Now, Destiny came in like, don't mess with me. I mean, don't start none, ain't gonna be none. Don't come for me unless I send for you. She was trying real hard. But Tiffany, on the other hand, she's coming in like, I got this bit of information about you. Let me expose it to seem cool or in with the in crowd. Girl, we don't like that kind of drama. We don't like drama where you just come in out of nowhere just dropping bombs. Honey, that's not how this goes. Girl, goodbye. So Tiffany said, I guess I'm just misunderstood. Nothing about your behavior is misunderstood, though. Nothing. You talk out of turn. You say things for shock value at the expense of others, honey. Nothing is misunderstood. The things you said were taken exactly the way that you said them. Girl, please. So Destiny said, oh, okay, well, misunderstood is my middle name. She said, we're always challenged to be transparent by you, but we don't know anything about Tiffany. So the point of this is to get to know Tiffany. She's like, so I have to ask, what's your dirt? So then Tiffany says, well, I wasn't actually born Tiffany. And baby, let me tell y'all something. I ain't gonna lie to you. When she said that, I was like, well, who are you born, Tim? Honey, I didn't know. Now, you just never know, okay? Because when she said I wasn't born Tiffany, I'm like, what is exactly going on? Honey, I was a little bit taken aback, or as Tisha would say, taken away back. Honey, I was like, what? Not you were not born Tiffany. So she said, she was adopted when she was a baby because she was biracial and she couldn't connect to anyone. And she couldn't figure out why she didn't have that connectivity. And Destiny said, well, you know what? I can definitely relate to that because I was in a group home as well. And I was in foster care. And my mom is a drug addict. And, I understand where you're coming from with that. And when she said that, I was like, really? I wonder where her dad was. Destiny, we need more. Okay, we need more so we can connect to you. Like, I mean, I hate to be this way, but y'all, I really don't care nothing what Tiffany's talking about. But Destiny, I didn't know this. And that's what we're saying as viewers. We want to get to know you. We want to know what's behind Destiny. Like, we know a little backstory, with everybody else, but we don't know nothing when it comes to you, and you don't have a spouse on the show. So we need something in order for something. Shout out to Carisha. Like, we need something for you to continue. Please give us something, child. So Tiffany said she was 19 and the neighbor told her she was adopted because her mom confided in her when she was trying to adopt. So then she got pregnant and her son was going to be the only biological relative that she had because she didn't know anybody else. Her mom kept her 4, white babies in Alabama, and then she sent Tiffany off. And she said her child's father was with her, but then they broke up, and then she got back with her high school sweetheart, and he just happened to pass. And my condolences on that. And she said, so the transparent Tiffany is because of my past. Okay, girl. That wasn't dirt. Okay, that was your background. Tiffany knows what she is doing. And this is just me, honey. You would have to be heartless to be mean to a person that's telling you some information like that. Although I empathize and sympathize with your upbringing and whatnot, you develop this mean-spirited character trait on your own. Okay, that's your character. That has nothing to do with your upbringing. You were brought up in a loving home, right? You just were adopted into a loving family, correct? Okay, so if that's the case, I understand that you haven't healed from not being able to connect to your family, but that has absolutely nothing to do with you coming in guns a-blazing and then absolutely feeling nothing about it. It's her party. She can cry if she wants to. Tiffany, I'm sorry, honey. I ain't buying it. Anywho, Destiny said, I'm an empath, so I know what it's like to not live with her biological family, so I can understand her in that way. So then Tiffany decided to apologize about her initial meeting with Destiny, and Destiny also apologized for her way of wording things, but not exactly for what she said. Tiffany invited her to the anniversary party, honey, on the baseball field or whatnot, and honey, she accepted. Child, I got some growing to do because this did nothing for me. This did nothing for me. I still do not like Tiffany. I'm sorry. I just still don't like her. It's just something about her that just doesn't do it for me. Even the story, I was just like, girl, you just trying to be the victim, honey. This don't gotta like accept what you did and build from there. I don't know, child. It just didn't do nothing for me. Moving forward. Mel meets with Chris. Hey, girl. And she wants to discuss the 47 acres. Oh, child. So she comes on in, honey, and you know Chris greeted her with a big old hug. Honey, I'm side-eyeing that Chris, okay? I am watching you. I don't see your wife nearly enough, but I see you skinning and grinning. Melody Holt brings the boys to the yard. I don't know what they got to choose from down there on the Huntsville, Alabama streets, but baby, she be having the boys looking. Do y'all hear me? She got Martel losing his mind, honey, when he wanted to do what he wanted to do. Marceau gonna make sure he defend her over his own wife. And then you got Chris skinning and grinning, so excited to see her. Child, he can't be trusted. Anywho, so Chris tells her, you know, I actually spoke with Martel about the 47 acres. So Mel asks what he had to say. So he tells her about how Martel felt as a friend. He should have come to him and not gone behind his back. So Mel's like, you know, everybody do something to Martel. This is just so funny. So Chris tells her about the client wanting the one with the builder's license, and that was her. So that's why he went to her. So Chris was like, so how do you feel about Martel being in his feelings? So she gives her Mel God said go speech, and she said she's only worried about her kids' feelings. Honey, she could care less about him and the Side Chick of the Year award. She could care less about their feelings, only about her children's. And I understand that. Honey, you did what you wanted to do, so you're out there. And now that you are out there, I'm only concerned about me. So I definitely understand her on that. So then in her confessional, she said he should have been putting in work to get his license versus putting in work in that bed. I know that's real, honey. So she asked Chris for the specs and the price points, and so they're looking at it and whatnot. And he asked if she wanted to do 2 or 3 lots or she wanted all 45. She was like, well, you know, I'm not doing 2 or 3. So then Chris gonna say, well, I had a meeting with Marceau and Martel, and they both showed up. Now, how they showed up to a meeting Martel set up at Marceau's office? Chris is messy. He is really messy. Okay? It's the way that he did that. You see how he worded that? He said, you know, I had a meeting and Marceau and Martel both showed up. You did not call a meeting. You were invited to a meeting with Martel and Marceau. Like, child, I just don't trust him. If you care more for Mel, honey, just say that. Now, I'm not saying Martel should get anything that has to do with the 47 acres. It's just the way that Chris is in between stirring the pot. It's like mess on both ends, honey. It's getting very much messy. So she said, you know, so there was a meeting scheduled with Martel and he brought Marceau. Interesting. There is no way she is going to want to work with him after that. And that is exactly what Chris is trying to accomplish. So she said, so what was it about? Chris said, you know, about general contracting on the 47 acres commercially, since you know that Marceau doesn't do single family homes. So Mel said, okay, so you rather vouch for a man who you just mended a friendship with, who you said didn't even pay you. You would rather vouch for him than the mother of your kids? So then she starts telling him about all the things that she did for the kids, got their hair done, got their nails done, and paid for tuition. This conversation right here shows that there will be no professionalism. Mel, I think you're so uncool. Like, y'all need to cut it out. Like, you do not need to be telling him this. She said, the fact that he wants to cut my pockets, it shows he's a snake. But I didn't know I was sleeping with one. Honey, I did. Especially when he was putting that snake repellent down around his mama house. Y'all remember that last season when Martel was outside putting down that snake repellent? I said in my review, I was like, child, make sure you dab a little bit behind your neck and whatnot. Moving forward. So, honey, that pissed Mel off because he's in secret competition with her. So she ready to play chess, not checkers. Martel, you done told your draws with Mel, honey, as they say in the South, as my grandmother would say. You done told your draws with me. Oh, child, it's a fool. In the next scene, Maurice is at work and Martel stops by. Maurice got on his blue suit and whatnot. And he stops by because he needs help rebuilding his credit. Divorce will really do a number on your credit. I hope Martel is a cautionary tale to all these men that let their members control their brains. Honey, it's so much at stake. Martel don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You did all of that for a little sloppy toppy. Child, whoo, how dreadful. Moving forward. He's like, you know, I want to get a $500,000 line of credit so I can build the houses for myself. Here go Maurice. Hold him up, swallow him up. That's a process, okay? You can't just jump in head first. It's going to take a while, especially because you filed for bankruptcy. So Martel said, so how long would it take for a bank to approve me because of the bankruptcy? So Maurice told him it's going to be about 24 months. Here go Martel. 2 years? I can't wait around for no 2 years. Yes, you can. What other choice do you have? Let me tell y'all something. It took me 4 years to get my credit together. 4. Okay, 4 whole years. I got it to a 787, and guess what? It took a lot of patience. Martel, you just want a quick fix. That's your problem. You want instant gratification. That's why you on the outside instead of in your marriage. Mel was not getting down on them knees except but to pray, and God said go, and God said no, and then you went over there and slept with this heifer on the side because you wanted instant gratification. Now here you are again in this setting, wanting somebody to hurry up and give you a $500,000 line of credit. Boy, if you don't get out of here. Oh, child, Martel know how to get on my nerves, honey. Oh, moving forward. So Maurice is like, credit and money is easy, but what I really care about is your well-being. He said, when Marceau dropped the depression bomb on us, it was an eye-opener. So then Maurice was like, we're living our dreams right now. Martel is actually living a nightmare, but carry on. He said, I know it's stressful, but I didn't know that we were all dealing with these things, and I want to go to therapy, and I want you to go as well. So he was like, I want to work on some issues that I didn't know that I had. Maurice, didn't Kimmy tell you were doing too much, but not enough when it came to family time? She said that, right? Okay, so you knew that, right? It's amazing to me that men can listen to each other, but not their spouse. Kimmy said that to you. Child, anyway. So here go Martel, he BSing. He talking about, when you find one, let me know and I may possibly go if it's a good fit. Charlie ain't going nowhere. Child, let's keep going. Tisha goes to see Dr. Francis in the next scene. She goes to his office wearing denim. Okay, Tisha, girl, you looked cute though. I loved it, honey. I was like, look at Tisha with that little shape. Child, I love Tisha's shape, honey. It's bad. Tisha's a baddie. Do y'all hear me? So Tisha is telling Dr. Francis that Marceau said that the therapy wasn't really for him. And she's like, look, it took me 14 years to even get him here. Girl, you didn't get him there. You tricked him there. But girl, go on, set yourself off. So Dr. Francis was asking her about what brought her back. She said, I got 3 kids. I got 3 businesses, household chores. I'm just burnt out. Dr. Francis said, but you're married, aren't you? You're talking like you're doing it all alone. Honey, and is. She said, I have 4 kids when it comes to Marceau. She said, the difference is that I could tell my kids what to do and they do it. But my husband ignores me, basically. So then Dr. Francis said, if you have to tell him, then it's you doing it alone. Yes, Dr. Francis, honey, that's exactly right. So Tisha tells him that she was raised by a single parent, so she's used to it. She didn't know what it looked like to have a man help. She even saw her grandmother doing that. The man didn't cook, they didn't clean, they didn't come in the kitchen. They just did everything, and the men just got a chance to relax. And that's some old school Southern bush, if I ever did see it. Okay? I fell into that trap. My parents are the exact same way. My parents have been together since they were in the 10th grade. They have been together for 44 years. Okay? I just want to say that my dad does not lift a finger. He don't move, he don't clean, he don't cook. My mom does everything. And when I was younger, I remember seeing, and that was to the detriment of my own marriages, because let me just explain it to you. I remember when I was younger, I would see my mom want to do something and my dad would say no, and then she would change her mind. A perfect example would be, we would be going out to dinner. Okay. And that was a special treat. Okay. Cause my parents were kind of like struggling when we were younger, and we would be going out to dinner, and my mom would want to go to a specific restaurant, and us as kids, we would want to go there as well. And my dad said he would want to go to another restaurant, and we ended up at the other restaurant. And I remember as a little girl sitting in the back seat saying to myself, I'm gonna never let a man tell me what to do. I'm gonna never let a man just sit around while I do everything. So when I got married, I would fix a plate. Yes, I would. I would fix your dinner. I would fix your plate, and I would sit it in front of you. I would present it to you. But hey, I'm not going to do everything. And it's just a shame because I feel like Tisha is just repeating what she saw growing up. That's the old Southern way of taking care of your man, honey. It's a sad thing, but it happens all too often. While you do it all, it really makes you resentful. Because even now that my parents they're still married, still together. But sometimes I'll hear my mom say something like, oh, he's just so lazy and I don't feel like doing this. And I'm like, well, don't do it. And I say that to her all the time. Like, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Don't do it. But it's been that way since the beginning of time. So now they have these gender roles, and my dad is kind of like Marceau. He don't want to get out of it. That is what I feel like Tisha is struggling with. And for me, moving into my marriage, I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I said so. And what else is going on? Honey, I said what I said and I ain't changing it. And once I started therapy and I started to talk to the therapist about the way that I behave in relationships, it was because of what I saw growing up and my mom not having a voice. And I wanted to have a voice. You're going to listen to me. And I feel like Tisha has lost her voice. So this was a very transparent moment for me. Tiffany, this is transparency. Okay, just so we're clear. Moving forward. She said, it really happened to me. I didn't really plan it. I had so much responsibility growing up that I didn't even want kids or a husband. But then I met Marceau my senior year of college, and I got pregnant, and we got married when I was 4 months pregnant. Child, let me find out y'all got married because you were pregnant. Girl, not a shotgun wedding. Oh, okay, now I'm understanding. Now I am understanding. In the country, in the South, got pregnant, got married, stuck. Got it. Moving forward. I'm looking at this picture of Marceau in his big brown suit and Tisha looking beautiful, even pregnant. Honey, he should be happy. She even looked at him. Child, he really did look up. Boy, these people are a trip. They started acting like they the prize and you the one that looked up. Girl, it's a fool. So she said, she just fell right into the roles. She said listening to Marceau actually made her see the life that she's currently living isn't the life that she wanted to live, especially after hearing that he was depressed. She said, it's not like I'm not happy, but it's not the life that I envisioned. Yes, you wanted to be something, do something. You want to be somebody. If you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Like you wanted to be something. Like, girl, you had dreams that you aspired to. And then your light got dimmed because you got pregnant and you fell into being a wife and a mom. And now Marceau is like, I'm going to be the breadwinner. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he won't allow you to grow. Girl, I understand. But it's great to see that her eyes are finally opening. And this therapist could really show her what she's missing, honey. Marceau better watch out. He's telling her to go to therapy by herself. He might want to go so he can monitor what's being talked about. Mess around and get some divorce papers on his way back. Moving forward. So she tells him Marceau brought up depression. And he was like, well, did you know about that? She said, I knew something was off, but I didn't think it was that. I just thought it was all of the projects that he was doing. So then he asked, what she could do. And she was like, he told me that I could listen more. And then I gave him a list of the things that I wanted. So Dr. Francis said, so he's saying you wanting material things is causing his depression? She said, he thinks that's a part of it. He said, so he's holding you hostage with his depression. Dr. Francis, boy, if you don't preach to Tisha, you better speak your speech. I know that's right, honey. So then he asked her if she thought she was causing the depression, and she paused for a little minute. She said no. She said no, but I don't believe it. Okay, she internalizes things. So between what Kimmy said to her and what Marceau said, she definitely thinks that it's her. I know she does. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been looking so long in the tooth. It's okay, Tisha, honey. You are not the cause of his depression. Honey, he probably ain't even really depressed. He just threw that word out there to deflect from the fact that he acted a fool all the way up and through that chapel. And he trying to hide something. Child, please. So then Tisha talks about how when her and Marceau started dating, she wasn't used to affection or love because she didn't get that growing up. So Dr. Francis, honey, he's standing all up. Sir, have a seat. Oh, child. He reminds me of a college professor that's doing a lecture. Sir, please sit down. Honey, he be standing all over these people. Have a seat, Dr. Francis. Anywho, she said, because of that, I just need to know that a person loves me. So Dr. Francis said, but when he tells you and you still don't believe it, that's on you. That's not on him. So Tisha said, all of my friends, they would get hugs and kisses. And I would ask my mom, like, why don't I get that? And she said, well, I didn't get it. And my grandmother said that I didn't get it. And Tisha said, her mom would express love through gifts. So then he asked her how she expresses love. She said, I think I do it through gifts and quality time as well. So then she starts telling him about the Vegas trip and Marceau shutting her down for the whole recommitment ceremony. He felt like the Vegas wedding was a joke. So he said, do you feel like it was a joke? She was like, no, I didn't. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. So then Dr. Francis said, so how did you feel about that? She said, I wasn't happy when he did that. She said, I just, given the rumors and everything, it would be nice to have some reassurance. So she's telling him about the rumors and how Marceau says that she should know him and she shouldn't even listen. And she was like, people say where there's smoke, there's fire, but there's been a lot of smoke. So then he told her the truth needs no defense. Now, I agree with you, Dr. Francis, honey, but we don't know if this is the truth, okay? But you better speak your speech. When you know you're telling the truth, it's no need to defend it. So he asked her, what is it about you that makes you feel it's necessary to defend him? She said, I just don't like when people lie on him. Dr. Francis said, well, in order to defend him, you have to know what you're defending is true, right? She said, yeah. He said, well, how do you find that out? Honey, to be continued. Baby. Honey, Dr. Francis was getting all in there, didn't he? Child, this was a good therapy session if I ever seen one. Dr. Francis, just sit down, though, next time, honey. Sit down so she can make eye contact with you and y'all can really get into it as y'all get into it. Y'all comment down below and tell me if Tiffany moved y'all, because she ain't moved me. Y'all comment down below and tell me if you want to know a little bit more about Destiny, because I sure do. And then tell me who you think should be building on the 47 acres. Y'all comment down below. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.